Welcome to the Organic Filaments Network. I'm your host, Sher Ali Khan, and I'm excited to have you with us. At Organic Filaments, we explore the interconnected threads of politics, culture, and society across South Asia, engaging in conversations that challenge dominant narratives and spark meaningful dialogue. Today, we're joined by MD Arman, a writer and graduate student documenting the events in Bangladesh between July 15th and August 5th. His work is critical as it explores a deeper understanding of the moments that took place during that time. Let's begin. Arman, can you share a brief background about yourself and where you're coming from uh, in relation to this topic?
Thank you, Mr. Khan, for inviting me in your channel for talking about the recent political progress in Bangladesh. Well, I'm Mohammad Arman. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm doing my master's here in the US at the University of Louisiana Lafayette. My concentration is TESOL. Yeah, that's my background, and I am writing a book. Actually, it's not. I cannot say that it's writing. I'm collecting the events. Actually, I collected it from July 10th until August 5. I collected what the people, what the protesters in Bangladesh at that time, what they were thinking, how they were thinking, what was going on, and with all this thing, I was trying to visualize what is the actual event, what the actual event, because there are a lot of there were a lot of things going on at the same time. So
Yeah.
uh, surfing in different social media groups and social media platform like Facebook, Messengers, Telegram, WhatsApp, blah blah. I was trying to collect the
Hmm.
the newses or events or anything, and before collecting, I try to cross check from one to another so that it is true or false or propaganda or something. So as much as I could, I tried to collect some of these things together. And the
Yeah.
question, yeah, the question
Yeah.
is why I did it. History sometimes goes in dark. I mean, sometimes history gets lost. So my intention was to collect the real picture of
Hmm.
what was the actual event, how the student protest, or we can say how the July August movement or massacre was going on. So I was trying to collect all these things from the voice of protesters, students, and I collected together and I'm trying to publish it.
No, this is a very important thing that you're doing. When you look at what was taking place at that time, what stood out to you the most on the ground in terms of people's sentiments and what conditions were taking place?
Actually, I think that people do not sacrifice their lives only for sentiment. There are reasons, some actual reasons, right? So
Yeah.
only for sentiments, maybe teenagers may sacrifice their lives. For example, for some affair, romantic affair, they may commit suicide. I'm sorry, that's just for example. But such a big movement cannot be happen without any actual reasons, right? So
Hmm.
Bangladesh got independent in 1971, and after 1971, the mass people, the Bangladeshi people, who in most cases were oppressed, people were suppressed. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Educated people, uneducated people, elite class, working class, everyone was suppressed. Such a movement was not just came to the light uh, instantly. It took a lot of time. It has a historical background and it has some initial causes. So maybe after sometimes we will talk about the causes of this movement. We see that students from, I mean, all of the universities, almost all of public and private universities came on the street to show demonstration against the then current government. But
And
in
Where was this exactly? In Dhaka, right?
Actually, yeah, the movement first initiated in Dhaka University, and then instantly within 1 or 2 days, it spread all over the country. First, uh, the student from university students from almost every university students participated, public, private, government, all of them participated. Then the movement was spreaded to general people. After crackdown, after internet crackdown, and after military crackdown, this protest was spread to everyone, almost everyone, not only the
Hmm.
students. That's why we call it the student and public movement, not only the student movement.
Student public movement. Yeah. No, that's very fascinating that you speak about that because we've also seen in the past in South Asia and across South Asia the importance of student movements. Who were the key figures in this movement at Dhaka University, and what was the tension between the government at the time?
Uh, if your question is who were the key figures of this movement from student side,
Yeah.
all right. So actually, there were many student coordinators from all other universities. But I may
Hmm.
now I may say some names from my university. I'm from Dhaka University. Is Nahid Islam, who is now in government. It is Rifat Rashid, Sarjit Sarjis Alam, Hasnat Abdullah, Asif Mahmood. Asif Mahmood also is now work in interim government as one of the advisors. And Abu Bakr Muzumdar, Arif Sohel. There are a lot of people. I cannot tell the name of all of
Hmm.
them, but I
Yeah.
just mentioned some names from Dhaka University and on from Jahangirnagar University. But there are a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah, and they ended up becoming a part of the interim government at the time that is currently in place, right?
Right,
Uh,
right.
s- so what is unique about them? Were they active on the campuses? Were they affiliated with political parties or anything of that nature?
Yeah, these people, they started the movement. They called all the other students from the university. They they first started demonstrating on the campus of that university. Then they contacted students from other universities. So by key figure not only for their activity, I think I would like to say that yeah, they began. There are some other people. They also were with those people that I mentioned their name. But when the police,
But what was their background? Were they like teachers? Were they professors, or they were just students?
they are the students. Most of them are grad students. Some of them were undergraduate students. But the name I mentioned, they were a graduate student from the university and on from the Jahangirnagar University. They are the students. Yeah, they were taking
Were
part.
they affiliated with any political parties at that time? Were they, or was their first time sort of getting involved in such mobilization or activism? Had they done protests before?
Yeah, they have done some protest before, like in 2018. There were another protest. I mean, other protest against the discriminatory quota system. The
Hmm.
Asif Mahmood, as far as I know, I don't know about others. So I know that Asif Mahmood was active at the time in 2028 in anti-quota movement. So
Hmm.
he was beaten by then pro-student terrorists of Awami League, and those they were students. They most of them were not and still are not affiliated with any other political party. But after Hasina fled to India,
Hmm.
we noticed that some of them were affiliated to Jamaat Islam or the strong wing of Jamaat Islam like Shibir. There were some key
Oh, okay.
figures, yeah. But at that time of protest, we didn't know. No one knew that those people are affiliated. Because this
And were there student unions? Are there student unions present on campuses? Or political parties had control of campuses before this?
actually these movement were carried out by everyone, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So student union or some other leftist student party or leftist party or the student wings, they also were involved with this protest. But in last 15 years, Hasina and Awami League, they accumulated for every political party way the Hasina wanted, right? So even some leftist political party or student wings of leftist political party, they were also somehow achieving or helping them to achieve the Awami League's goal, Awami goal, right? Awami objectives. So
Why were the leftist groups supporting, you know, the Awami League
yeah,
on campuses?
yeah. For for this reason, I will tell you that there are some historical problems. So historical problem or historical reasons. The leftist political parties in Bangladesh, they somehow support India, or they are, what we say, India Ponthi, or they are, sometimes we say that they are fulfilling India's objectives through our
Hmm.
under the shell of leftist political party. They are helping India through our League to achieve their goal. That is the problem of Bangladeshi leftist party. So we say that when I talk about this issue with my
Yeah.
friend, we say that the world Bangladeshi
So,
leftist
so
party.
what was the role of, say, the more right-wing Jamaat Islami and the Islamic groups and those things on campuses?
Now,
Because I know Jamaat Islami has historically tried to have a role on campuses.
now, after Awami League came to power in 2008, the election was held in 2008 December. So Awami League came to power in January 2009. So after they came to the power, the student wing of Jamaat Islam, they could not show themselves. They could not present themselves in the campus. Not only Dhaka University campus, but also in every single campus in Bangladesh, every single university. They took some time to remove Jamaat Islam or Shibir from Russia University campus or Islamic University campus, but
Mm.
they did. They eradicated all of them. The roots. They tried to eradicate the roots of Jamaat Islam and Shibir.
Yeah. So was there a vacuum on the ground because of that on campuses? And was political mobilization against Awami League for a long time very difficult to do?
There were actually no one to say anything against our, not only student but
Mm.
also any party. BMP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, was still is one of the biggest parties in Bangladesh. You can say after Awami League, but our Awami League tried to eradicate BMP too. After Awami League came in power, uh,
Yeah.
they forced Tariq Jia. Tariq is the son of Ziaur
Of
Rahman. Ziaur Rahman, who established BMP as a political party in Bangladesh. Awami League forced Tariq Jia to leave Bangladesh. So since then, Tariq Jia is still in England to Bangladesh. So no one absolutely to speak against Awami League. Now some people will tell me that, yeah, there are some people from BMP like Pokrul Islam or Rizvi. They are BMP people. They support BMP. Last 16 hold BMP as a Banyan tree, old Banyan tree. But now we see that Pokrul or Rizvi or some other people like this did what Awami League wanted. I personally, I imagine that maybe these people, some people, some handful of people, they supported Awami League. They fulfilled Awamiism because even a student, for example, if a student give a Facebook status against he or she got killed, we have a lot of examples.
yeah.
But Fokrul or Rizvi, they are from BMP. They talk lot against Awami League, against BMP. Why are they arrested? How they lived in peace in Dhaka.
So one thing
So
we notice is the emergence of Muhammad Yunus. How does he sort of emerge as like a figurehead to mobilize around for these students? and the wider public at this time?
Actually, I did not understand your question. Can you please
So,
repeat?
like, Muhammad Yunus is a well-known name. How does he become the sort of figure that Nahid Islam, Hasnat Abdullah, and all these people, Asif Mahmood, sort of rally around, in the standoff?
Yeah. So I think that Muhammad Yunus was not involved anyhow from the beginning with this movement. Uh,
Hmm.
when the movement started, maybe Muhammad Yunus, I don't know, he was in Bangladesh or not, but when Hasina fled to India, at that time Muhammad Yunus was in France for
Oh,
yeah, he was in France for inaugurating Olympic game or Winter Olympic game. I'm not sure. There was a game, Olympic or Winter Olympic. I'm not sure. So
yeah.
he was holding torch of Olympic. So after
Hmm.
Hasna news what they are trying to say that student contacted Muhammad Yunus. They contacted
Yeah.
Muhammad Yunus and Muhammad Yunus could not say no. He said yes. I will
Hmm.
held the I will held the power of CPI advisor of Bangladesh. Then he came. Hasina fled in August 5. Muhammad
Yeah.
Yunus came to Bangladesh in August 8 in the morning. I still remember he landed in Bangladesh maybe 11 or 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and they take out at night at 8 p.m. So Muhammad Yunus
So,
was
so, so before we move forward, can you talk about the lead up to Hasina fleeing Bangladesh to India? There's a lot of crackdown that takes place during that time, right? So when does the balance of power change between the public and the students? How does the how does the equation change? Because she has been in power for so long, right? She's a very powerful figure in Bangladesh politics. What takes place that makes her leave, during that period?
yeah, you know, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So during her regime in 15 years,
Hmm.
she corrupted every single institute, not only the government institute but also private institutes too. So yeah, she created herself and the fascist enabler. I would like to call them fascist enabler. They also helped her to emerge herself as a fascist. So not only
Hmm.
Hasina is responsible for that.
Yeah,
Lot of people are responsible for that. That they helped her
yeah,
emerge as a fascist. So it will include politicians, government job holders, business person, journalists, doctor, engineer, everyone, right?
yeah.
Even a student, even a student. So she emerged as absolute power holder person. So your question is how the transition happened, right?
Yeah.
So when student protest in the protest actually this protest started at January at the beginning of January, but it busted out in 15th January, because in 15th January the student wings of Awami League, they call Chhatro League, Chhatro League and Awami terrorists, they attack on the students in Dhaka
Hmm.
University. Particularly, two pictures got viral immediately. In one
Hmm.
photo, we see that one person is hitting two girls with a stick,
Yeah,
and in another photo, we see that a girl is bleeding, bleeding from
yeah.
mouth, nose, and yeah. So these two pictures instantly got viral all over the world.
Hmm.
It happened in July 15th, and
July
in
15th.
July 15th, yeah, and in July 16th, this movement is spread throughout all public university in Bangladesh, right? So
Okay.
yeah, so in July 16th, three students were killed. three students were killed. One is from Begum Rokeya University in Rangpur. University of
This
Rangpur.
was during one of the protests. During the
Exactly,
protest?
exactly during the protest. The protest was ongoing in 16th January. So
Mm-hmm.
the first Abu Said was killed. Abu Said was a undergraduate student in Rangpur University.
Mm-hmm.
The fun fact is, any Bangladeshi media did not publish this news. So,
Mm-hmm.
so the first we came to know about three deaths from White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
White House, the spokesperson of White House, he answered to question to a journalist that yeah, we are having our eye, we are closely monitoring what's going on in Bangladesh, and we know that there are three students killed. And suddenly
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. My goodness, only three student kills. We didn't know. No Bangladeshi media, print media, or electric media, or social media. We didn't know. No one,
Mm-hmm.
uh, no one gave this information. We knew from White House. Anyway, after these three-person killed, the movement spread like cancer everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, like cancer. So
Mm-hmm.
in in July 17, the all public university in Bangladesh were closed. The university authorities, excuse me, the university authorities and the UGC, University Grant Commission, ordered universities to be closed, to remain closed.
Yeah.
So Dhaka University was the powerhouse for this movement. So all the residential hall of Dhaka University were closed. So students were forced to leave the hall, residential hall.
Yeah.
So if the students of Dhaka University leave the hall, they knew that the protest will stop. It will not go on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they succeeded. They successfully did it. They
Oh, it
almost
did.
they did it. Yeah, yeah. The government did it. They almost stopped these protests in 17th July, right?
Yeah.
So, but how? Then how? You will be uh, amazed
Yeah.
by the information
Yeah.
that how these protests again were fueled. How? In at evening of 17th July, the protest was almost under control of government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under control of police, BGB, RAB, all of them are government force, and student wings of our military. So it was almost gone, and we were hopeless that my goodness, the protest is done.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the student from the private university, first in the history in Bangladesh, came to the road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
students from private university, they never did anything like this before for any government
Mm-hmm.
issue or something like that. They never did. They never showed their this face in the history of last 53 years, right? But in
Mm-hmm.
July 18, all of them, like students from Brack University, North South University, or East West University, uh, to mention some name, but all of them came to the road, and created they created nightmare for government. It was just out of their prescription.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So uh, this is the first in the history that in July 18th they killed 36 students from private university.
Mm-hmm.
36. And when they killed 36, yeah,
So, so you're saying that it was during these protests that they killed 36,
36
36
in only one day.
students.
In only one day, 18th July.
Oh, wow.
18 July. They
So
killed
that
30.
that was that's a lot.
That was a turning point. 18th July was a turning point of this movement because in
Hmm.
17th July, when the residential hall of Dhaka universities and all other public universities were closed, were forced to close, the protest was almost done, almost gone. It was
Yeah,
taken under control. But
yeah.
the students of public university, they live in residential hall. That means
Hmm.
if you can control residential hall, you can control the university, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So they closed the hall, so they closed the protest. But public private universities in Bangladesh, they generally do not have residential hall. So the students live outside of the university campus or something like that. They live
Hmm.
private. So the protest was controlled in 17th July, but in 18th July, again it was fueled by the students of private university. And again,
Wow.
it was just a turning point. It was just a turning
Yeah,
point. The government did not even think that they will come on the road.
yeah.
When they came to the road, and when 36 students from private university were killed, it
Hmm.
was it was like just a capture. Everyone
Hmm.
came to the and
Hmm.
all the students from public university, they returned to their hall,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah,
in at the evening of 18th July, the
yeah.
government shut down the internet. Government shut down
Wow.
the internet, and we knew nothing. We can see something. At that moment, we knew nothing. What happened? Now we see that a huge massacre happened. A huge massacre
Yeah,
happened. A lot of people were
yeah.
killed. A lot of people injured. Now, totally, the government estimation is that more than 2,000 people were killed, and almost 30,000 people were severely injured.
Hmm.
Lot of them lost their eyes. Some of them lost their hands. Some of them lost their legs. So
Yeah.
that was a turning point. So when lot of blood was shed, all the people, I mean parents, relatives, all the peoples, even the rickshaw pullers, the worker, laborer, they came out on the road to protest against the government. So,
Yeah.
so uh, your question was how this the turning point happened,
Yeah.
right? So, to say
Yeah,
18 July,
I think like my other question is the private schools, uh the like the students that go to private schools are probably from better off backgrounds, right?
right,
Compared to the other more public universities, right?
right.
Uh, and how long have private schools been around, and do they have student unions and those sort of things, like student politics or any of that?
No,
No.
no. The fun
So it's
fact
like
is
the first time that this class of students sort of mobilized themselves.
right, right. Private university in Bangladesh was established in 1991, right? Since then,
1919.
yeah, since then they do not have any student union or any such organization, right?
Yeah.
If some university they have, maybe they may establish recently, but there are no in a holistic way. There is no such organization, but only one online platform they have. I'm not going to tell their name, maybe because I don't have any permission from them. Only one online platform. It was a huge platform. Well, I mean, they try to connect the uh, students from private university in that platform. That platform
Hmm.
was and using that platform, online platform, they connected with the private university students, the private university
Yeah.
student, and they declared their program one after another. So when the people saw that regime, Hasina regime, is not leaving anyone behind. They are killing the innocent people. They are killing the non-political people. They are killing everyone. They are killing a infant of 5 years old. All the people joined this protest, and it made a turning point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I and when you compare it to the when you compare it to sort of the anti-Ershad protests, uh, when there was military rule, uh, how do you view this movement in the broader history of Bangladesh? You know, like the
Yeah.
anti, like the movements against dictatorship and those things.
Yes, actually, Bangladesh has a long history of student movement. Like
Hmm.
in 1952, as you mentioned, 1952 language movement. Then in
Yeah.
1971, uh, independent movement, and then against Ershad movement, I mean in 1990s, and then anti-quota movement in 2018. And 2018 there was also another movement, the Safe Road movement. It was a movement by school students. I mean, junior high or senior high school student movement. So Bangladesh
Hmm.
has a long-standing history for
Hmm.
history of student movement. So if you want me to compare the
Hmm.
Ershad, uh, the student movement against Ershad in 1990 and student movement in 2024, right?
Hmm.
I will like to say that there, there is nothing to compare, right?
Okay.
In
Yeah.
1992, only two-person were killed. Two-person were killed. One was a tea seller, right? One was a
Hmm.
tea, and another was I'm not sure he was a student or not. He was shot by Ershad police. There was two
Yeah.
person were killed, and this killing helped protester to remove Ershad. In 2014, more than 2,000 people were killed. So
Hmm.
there is nothing to compare, right?
Yeah.
And Ershad, if I compare Ershad regime against Hasina regime,
Yeah.
Ershad is an infant before Hasina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ershad is an infant before Hasina,
Hmm.
and Ershad used direct military force or police force, right?
Hmm.
Hasina did not use direct military or direct police, but what she did, she created law. She changed the constitution. So
Yeah.
she did all this terrorism lawful. She
Hmm.
turned the constitution of Bangladesh against the people of Bangladesh.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there is no comparison. I generally do not like to compare that what Esther did that, because Esther is an
Yeah.
infant. Esther is an infant.
Yeah. Now, looking forward with the new government that's formed, what is your takeaway from this? Like, do you see things improving in Bangladesh, or do you see a continuation of Sheikh Hasina's rule? There's that worry of going into another form of fascism.
Problem is, in last 15 years, Hasina turned everyone into army. Government job holder, politician, even from the opposite. A lot of
Mhm.
people from opposite party or opposition party, they they join our military. So everyone, actually, the people who were born after 20, they didn't know that there were some other party,
Mhm.
in other party like BNP or Jamaat. They just only thought in Bangladesh there are only one party, that is Awami League. So a lot of people, a lot of new voters, they didn't know any other party but Awami League, right? So everyone, all in their action, were turned into Awami League. After 5th August, when Hasina fled, everyone fled. Can you imagine when a government fall down, the whole police department of a country fled? Can you imagine? Not only police department. This is fascinating. The imam from National Masjid, he fled.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The bankers fled. The business people fled. Doctors, government job holders, they fled. Judges,
So anyone connected with the Wami League basically fled on some level, right?
exactly. Now the question why they fled after the Prime Minister Hasina fled? Because
Mhm.
everyone was involved with Hasina's
Mhm.
crime, either doing their own crime or helped her to do her crime. Right? So
Mhm.
everyone. So no
Everybody
one,
was complicit.
exactly, no one was neutral. So when the present government, the current government took oath in 8th August, it does not mean that everyone turned into neutral people. It doesn't mean. In last 15 years, they were given some illegal opportunities. They were power. They were making money illegally. When immediately after Hasina fled to India, no one will turn into an angel, right?
Mhm.
No one will
Mhm.
do that. The problem
Yeah.
is in last 15 years, everyone, almost everyone, of course there are some people, almost
Yeah.
everyone are corrupt. So when Dr. Muhammad Yunus took over the power in
Yeah.
8th August, who he will use to take that power? Who fled? There was no one. I mean, judges fled. So how can he appoint new judges? Where will find them? There was no one. Everyone was turned into our judges.
But there are people like Nahid Islam, Hasnat Abdullah, Asif Mahmood, people who are younger coming into power and people directly from the movement.
They're just student, man. They're student. They just, yeah, they were given
But yeah, you were
some
saying?
share that they can hold, but
Hmm.
they cannot be offered as chief justice. They're
Hmm.
just grad student, right? Or just recently graduated. So they are given some ministerial power because they are adult. They can be given the ministerial power. But if you want to appoint some secretary, they cannot be
Yeah.
appointed as secretary because secretariat job is huge. They cannot do that. But
Hmm.
everyone turned into army secretary, not
Hmm.
the government secretary, right? The people of
Hmm.
Bangladesh, they actually become confused between army and government. Army League does not mean government, right? But in Bangladesh,
Yeah.
people got confused that Army League equal to government.
And there's a vacuum, right, of
And there's
opposition parties.
there's a vacuum of opposition party. That's why Dr. Muhammad Yunus and his government is keeping some army demon enabler, army fascist enabler in their power. Still,
Hmm.
there are some important positions that those who were appointed in that position by Sheikh Hasina before 5th August, they are still in their position. How is it possible? It's possible because there are vacuum. There are no such people who can be appointed. Yeah, there are of course some people who already retired or something. The country mechanism or national mechanism is huge. Within 6 months they cannot do everything at the same time.
What about the border and sort of displacements and those things? Has that been an issue at all? Like people moving to India or anything like that?
That that's another interesting fact. After Hasina fled,
Hmm.
it's become clear to everyone, not only the politically conscious, but everyone, every laborer even, that India was keeping relation
Hmm.
with a particular party, that is our League, not a country. India as a country should keep their relationship with the country, right? With the government
Yeah.
of the country. But what saw, we saw that India as a country hold their relationship, their bilateral relationship with a political party. That
Hmm.
was the first fault, I would say. That's the first fault of Indian international policy. So
Hmm.
after having a threat to India, lot of Indian media, Indian
Yeah.
print media, Indian electronic media, and some
Yeah.
social media platforms where they are still spreading
Yeah. It
propaganda,
was,
false news, and fake
yeah,
news.
Islamophobic sort of propaganda that
Everything, everything.
an Islamic regime is coming to power.
Exactly, exactly. For example, if I say uh, Republic Bangla, a TV channel in Calcutta, right? Calcutta-based TV channel.
Hmm.
This TV channel, I think this TV channel was established to demonize the next government after Hasina fled. So
Hmm.
they are creating news in their imagination. For example, recently two ships came from Pakistan to Bangladesh because
Hmm.
India stopped supply. India
Yeah.
stopped supplying onions or other. So Bangladesh is buying those daily commodities from Pakistan. That's why two ships came from Pakistan to Bangladesh. So the Indian media they propagating that Pakistan is sending arms to Bangladesh. Pakistan is sending lot of shares. Yeah, and recently from England-based news media reported that 72 Indian media were active to propagate against Yunus government. So we cannot trust Indian news.
Do you think Yunus will eventually uh, hold elections, or do you think that he's going to stay in power for the long haul?
No, first of all, Yunus is not going to stay in the power for long time. In Lord of meeting or press conference, Yunus directly said that he will arrange election. The BMP, as I already mentioned, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, they are shouting for election. But there are
Hmm.
some other parties. They are uh, helping. They are assisting in Yunus government. But what seems like there only one party, BMP. They are dying for election. But
Yeah.
other parties, they are assisting this government for the right time to arrange the election. So Dr. Mohammed Yunus is not going to stay in the power
Hmm.
because the government pattern
Yeah.
of Dr. Muhammad Yunus government is not touched that he is going to stay in the power. If he would stay in the power for a long time,
Yeah.
we we could see that he is using military or he was using some other forces. But now we
Yeah.
see that his current government is one of the weakest government. That's true. Why it is weakest government? Because no one is helping this government. Not any bureaucrat, not police force. Yeah, the chief of police, the IGP of police is sent. It does not mean that
Yeah.
only IGP will work. Holistically is a force. So if the force does not help the government, the IGP cannot do anything, right? So
Yeah.
this is one of the weakest government in the history, and this government is not going to stay in the power for a long time. And Dr. Muhammad Yunus will arrange. I think he will try to arrange a free and fair election, maybe in the long run, but or in the recent future, near future. But personally, I don't want
Yeah.
that you will arrange that election within 6 months or 1 year. Because if another government, another party comes to the power after election,
Hmm.
like say BMP, the
Hmm.
characteristic of BMP and the recently fled Awami League will be same,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So we need lot of change in the system,
Hmm.
particularly in our bureaucratic system, in our constitutional system. Actually, in the whole body, you got cancer. Now, how can I say that okay, if I cut your hand, you will be cured? Your whole body is affected. So we need
Hmm.
some change. in the system. Then I think
Do you
people
think that the fact that the student movement was so effective, maybe the younger generation of people might be looking towards newer ideas in terms of governance or those things?
absolutely, absolutely. I was active in social media before this movement and after this movement, right?
Yeah.
So if I just compare the social media activities of people, I see that people, particularly the young generation, they are much more conscious about politics, about the national interest now than before. So this movement turned everyone into politician. I think everyone turned into politician now. People are more conscious about our national interest, about our personal interest, and people know what is better for us. So this
Yeah.
movement affected people personally or holistically.
Yeah. No, this is excellent. This has been very informative for people on the outside who have never visited Bangladesh or don't understand what's going on in Bangladesh. Do you think that the system is going to become more democratic in the coming years?
Yeah, actually, there is no answer to this question in very short, right?
Yeah.
So I think if BNP come to the power now, I mean within 6 months or within 1 year, without a positive change in the system, in the bureaucratic system, or in electoral system, or in constitution was before, it will be in the future. But the the main focus of this movement was against the discrimination, right? The
Mm-hmm.
name of Another name of this movement was the anti-discrimination movement. So,
Mm-hmm.
anti-discrimination movement, the idea came from the quota system in government job. I think you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what was the main idea that the people, like for example, as a citizen will naturally you will claim the same right, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a citizen of country A, you will expect that you will get the same right in in every sector, not only in government job or in education or anything. You will get same right as the other get, right? if, if you are discriminated, Bangladesh is a country of 18 crore people. If 17 crore people are discriminated,
Yeah.
that cannot hold a country. That cannot, right?
Yeah.
So
What do you mean by discriminated?
so if you remain silent against Awami corruption, or if okay, then you are good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you raise your voice against the corruption, against their corruption, or something like that, they will tag you like, okay, you are not one of us. You are one of others.
Okay.
So if you are one of others, you have no right to stay in Bangladesh, right? So they created lot of this type of narratives to digest. They try to digest these false narratives. What was the question? I'm sorry, I forgot it.
No, just like what types of discrimination
Yeah.
uh, are present within the system. Like you talk about the lack of rights in terms of laws against students, workers, like the laws banning communication, meaning internet and all that, the authoritarian sort of laws that she made. Have they done anything to get rid of those?
Yes, I think this is the natural characteristics of fascists, that they, whatever law they passed it to favor themselves. It does not
Yeah.
matter. It goes against the citizen or against whoever. It does not matter. If it favors them, they will do that. So whatever
Hmm.
law, like a digital act or something, and another act, I forgot the name, or whatever act they pass, everything was passed to protect their chair, right?
Hmm.
So, let me return to the previous question, the discrimination. So, the current student movement, it was raised against the discrimination. I mean, in government job. Like in Bangladesh,
Yeah.
56% quota were offered to
Mm-hmm.
war veterans and their
Yeah.
offspring, their children, grandchildren. Right? They are no more than 0.5%, no more
Mm-hmm.
than 0.5% people, but 56% quota were offered to those people.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is the discrimination, right?
This is a discrimination. Yeah.
Discrimination. And
No,
another
but this, sorry, you were saying?
another problem is that if they use this quota only once in a lifetime for one job, that could be okay.
Hmm.
But they use this throughout their life. Throughout their life, it doesn't matter. They change one job after another, one first class job after another, right? But
Hmm.
on the other side, people do not get any jobs. For example, if I say something from my personal life, one of my friends from my university, he should not have get chance in Dhaka University, and he should not. I'm sorry, I'm telling something. I mean discriminatory. That guy still does not have that much quality to be a student of Dhaka University. But
Yeah.
using quota system, he came to Dhaka University. He came to the English department. He passed, and then he left 3 to 5 first class jobs. Then he joined in another first class jobs. But I know as a friend that that guy does not have that much quality even to get chance in a public university in Bangladesh.
So what's the history of this quota system? Like, how does it work? You
Yeah.
explained a little bit, but is it based on where you're from, or is it based on like something else,
Is based on
or it's
something
just
else.
for everybody?
War veteran of 1971 called them
Hmm.
Mukti Jodha. We call them Mukti Jodha. I mean, the rough translation in English is freedom fighter.
Yeah.
So the freedom fighters were given 30% quota. Women were given 10% quota. People were not talking
Hmm.
about the other quota. People were just were talking about freedom fighter quota. Okay, and some blah
Are
blah
there
some other.
quotas for minorities as well?
There was a minority quota 1 or 2% maybe. Yeah, but
Hmm.
people were not talking about minority quota or female quota. They was talking about only freedom fighter quota. The problem is why they targeted freedom fighter quota, because Awami League used the freedom fighting or the war of independence as their tool of their politics, right?
Yeah.
So Awami League sold lot of certificate of
Hmm.
freedom fighting, and using their fake certificate, those people got those opportunities. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That was the problem because Awami League used this war of independence in 1971 as their tool of politics.
Oh, okay.
That was the problem.
How does it impact the legacy of 1970 within the current imagination as a Bangladeshi?
I don't think that it will hugely impact the people of war veteran. It will not hugely impact. Yeah, there are some scattered events happen immediately after Hasina fled, but still, I don't think that those people will be affected negatively because
Yeah.
general people in Bangladesh, they respect war veterans of 1971. They are
Yeah.
still they're still restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the quota system will be banned. Maybe their children, grandchildren will not be given that extra opportunity,
Hmm.
but they will not be disrespected. They are not
Yeah.
disrespected. Of course, some occurrence happen that some people tortured. We saw in the social media tortured the war veteran on blah blah. But there are some scattered events, and those people, I mean, those war veteran also has some political affiliation. If you are a war veteran, and at the same time, if you are a Awami activist, after
Hmm.
Hasina fled, if people torture you as Awami activists, you cannot say that they torture me for because I'm a war veteran. They tortured you because you are an Awami activist. You right? So those people sometimes try to use this sentiment. but it didn't work.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. This is very interesting. I think that, I would love to have you again on the show to learn more about like Bangladeshi writers, culture, and those things. I think that this is an opportunity to sort of expand my own knowledge about, Bangladesh. I think that, as part of South Asia, it's it's very important that we build these connections and we actually learn what's taking place on the ground and how people are, those sort of things. So, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, of course, Mr. Khan. Thank you for inviting me in your show, and I think I you will invite me once again. We will talk about something in the future. Until then,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And best of luck with the book
yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
and your studies.
Yeah, of course, yeah.